Hello everyone, welcome to the Edmonds Racing Weekly Review Show where Toby and Trent join us to run through their runners over the weekend. A magic weekend for the guys, 9 runners resulting in 5 winners. Trent and Toby both got their best bets up and they also equaled their season record with 110 wins brought up by Vanna Girl in the listed Doomben Guineas. Just a super weekend where plenty went our way. Horses running extremely well, obviously team firing all the cylinders. And Toby, you must be pretty proud, mate, of the team effort, given that you've equaled your record and we're only sitting in the early part of May.
Yeah, so it's good to get there that quickly. To be truthful, I suppose year to year, you set a goal. We have had an increase in horses though, so our stable's up. You know, we've got an extra 30 boxes this year, and that's probably been for the last 18 months, I suppose, but certainly an extra 30 horses. So, you know, our winners should increase quite a bit. But, you know, Friday and Saturday's effort was great. Those horses performed very well. They've performed well now for quite a while. You know, the week before we were very stiff. We could have had 4 or 5 that week as well with a couple of photos didn't go our way and the like. So it's nothing new. You know, if we place our horses properly and when they go to the races, they're there to perform. They're not there to normally to get ready. A couple are, but you know that may need a run or two to get to their distance, basically. But you know, if we send them to the races in the right race, they normally perform. If they don't win, around second, third, or fourth, or that's basically it. So, yeah, really proud of everyone in the background. You know, all the work riders, all the staff. There's I think 37 in total, so it's a big number, and they all have their place. And you know, whilst Trent and I are here in front of this, you know, doing this forum each week, you know, those guys work awfully hard in the background, and it's a thankless job, to be truthful. They get paid pretty good. I will say that. I wouldn't mind getting their wage, but certainly, you know, the 3 a.m. mornings and it rolls through, you know, 7 days a week, and they work awfully hard. So, you know, we owe a lot to them and our clients. You know, our clients have been with us now for quite a while. We've got some really great long-term clients, some fresh clients, some new clients. We're able to get up with Mayosi on the weekend for Yulong was great. It was great, you know. Got some lovely texts from Luke from Yulong regarding that horse winning. And some lovely texts from all the guys at Yulong. So look, really proud. And to top it off, Vanagel was our first stakes winner as a partnership. So that was exciting as well.
Yeah, touch on that for us, mate. At what stage? I suppose the most impressive thing is like when you grow in scale, it takes, you know, you still have to have the team and the group of people around you to maintain the strike rate of 20%, which you guys have done over the last few seasons, which is incredible, right? Amongst the best in the country, if not the best, given your scale. Talk us through Trent, mate. When did you know he was going to be a trainer, A, and B, when did you sort of think to yourself, okay, well, we're going to be a partnership here and he can co-train with me?
Okay, so we can go right back to when Trent was quite young, going through school. He trained to be a tennis professional right up till he was 16 or 17. He had good sporting ability in that area. He's very committed to that. So I sort of knew that if he got his teeth into horse racing, that he would also apply himself, which he has. Started out working with Peter Snowden at when they were Darley, I think. Always was in the background with us when I was at Warwick Farm. Never worked much in the stable, but certainly he was busy doing other things. But I always knew that he had the knowledge and the foresight, because he was really good on pedigrees, and even horses of ours that raced years ago, he could remember what colours they raced in, for instance. So that's one thing. Anyway, as I left Warwick Farm to become foreman here or run the Queensland operation for Patternack, then Trenton worked for Darley, and Peter was always telling me that he applied himself good. He was punctual. He was always on time. He was a good worker. And then when he came over to us, in 2012 or 13, I think it was. He's just grown and deserved a chance to train alongside me as he has done this last season. So, and in the future, who knows what happens? I'm quite sure he'd want to train out on his own right at some stage as I step away. So, all this is good education, and he applies himself well and knows horses back to front, which is good. Runs a stable well, whilst I'm in the background doing other stuff. Trying to manage the business side of things is very, very difficult, and I spend a lot of time doing that now. Whilst Trent's always, hands-on in the stable and around and updating clients and a lot of it. So we both play our role, and it works quite well.
It works well, all right. It's been a great season, and it's just a real family thing. Trent, how have you found the dynamic, mate? Your first full season as a co-trainer with your dad. How's the sort of dynamic changed in terms of, being a foreman as you were before to now co-training? Has it changed much?
Not a great deal as far as, the day-to-days. Basically just obviously becoming a little bit more front and centre with all of the clients, basically. And that's been the biggest change, whereas prior to that, sort of just being background and just the day-to-day running, as I mentioned, you don't get that level of exposure, so to speak. Yeah, there were some sort of clients that you'd be, interacting with on a regular basis, but obviously stepping into the role of co-trainer, that's been the biggest change. But it's been good. We've got a good bunch of clients, good bunch of horses at the moment, and a great bunch of staff as well. So it's been very rewarding, and really sort of looking forward to the next 6 to 12 months with our young stock that we got coming through, that's for sure.
Yeah, 100%. No, well, thank you both for giving us some insight into the whole dynamic. Again, congratulations, guys. Equaled the record. So look forward to breaking that very soon. Let's get stuck into our runner by runner review, starting with the Gold Coast on Friday. It was a ripping start to a great weekend. Race 1, the maiden over 1,100 metres, Tobe. Foxy Robinson's colours. Start of a big weekend for Foxy too. Hard labour got up in the first. Yeah,
so Foxy had a couple of winners at Goulburn as well. One with, I think, Gay. Well, Gay might have trained both of them, I think. You might correct me if I'm wrong, but he phoned me on Friday afternoon and said that he'd had the three of them, and we're excited by Hard Labour. Foxy bred that, and by All Too Hard, as you know, and it was good for her to be able to come back to 1,100 and get that job done. Interesting to see Michael Carl got fined for excess use of the whip, which I don't think I'll ever see from Michael Carl, So he lifted her over the line. Michael's a beautiful rider, beautiful hands, beautifully quiet. If you ever need one ridden nice and quietly and to get home, he's the right type of rider for that. Very seldom do you see him, lift a horse home like he did on Friday, which was great to see. And we thank him for his ride, and she went great. And I'm not sure whether we should go too much further with her. She had a couple of runs and been in a while. We thought she was a little sharper than she was. I mentioned that in the preview, I think, last Thursday, that maybe she got a little bit down, a little bit one-paced, because she actually showed early in the prep that she was quite sharp, where she hasn't been after a couple of trials and that. So maybe we give her a little break and stop on her and let her progress with a fresh set of legs underneath her. I think that might be the best plan going forward for her.
Understood. All right. Well done there to Foxy Robinson and Hard Labour. Not only racing these horses, but as you mentioned, Tobe, breeding them as well, breeding and racing them, which must mean some extra satisfaction for him. Yeah. For sure. All right. Then we waited to race 4. The drinks cart returned after a really strong summer, Trent, and the 2-year-old over 900 metres. And listen, that Wisdom of Water form, that pre-Magic Millions form really stood up.
Yeah, look, he's a pretty sharp customer, this fella. He always has been, sort of, even to his early trials pre-Christmas when we just educated him. He's always shown a pretty good level of promise. And I think I mentioned last week, in that week before the Millions, he was actually taking ground off Wisdom of Water in the last little bit of that gold nugget, I think the race was. So to be fair, it wasn't unexpected that he was going to go there on Friday and do the job that he done. He's got a stack of ability. Have our reservations. Obviously, JJ Atkins is an aim for 2-year-olds at this time of the year, sort of every year. Probably have a reservations as to whether or not he's just maybe a little bit brilliant for that. So I suppose next start is going to tell a fair bit. I'd be keen to just hopefully draw a barrier with him and ride him steady, because I think he's much better when he's ridden quieter and then let rip up to the line. When he got beaten at Eagle Farm, his second run, I think it was, we were a little bit aggressive on him and he was a little bit too far forward and faltered. I think best play for him going forward is just nice and steady and let him build into a race. And we'll see a pretty sharp horse. If we don't go to the JJ with him, obviously next run's going to tell us a lot. There is, I think it's the Dalrello Stakes the week after the JJ, which is 1,200. That might be more in his wheelhouse, but we'll certainly give him every chance. And it was good for Gilgai Farm and the crew, to be fair. Obviously with this COVID and that happening, stuff's going on with the business and whatever, which has been ordinary, but that'll provide him with a pretty good tonic, and he's a lovely horse.
Yeah, for sure. No, they can certainly breed one. The team at Gilgai. I suppose that's the big thing with them is if you don't go to JJ Atkins, there's very few sort of feature races a horse of that caliber can angle that, right? So what is his next start? What are you looking at for his next run?
So there's a number of options. Whether we sort of go to either the Champagne Stakes against your Isotope, Rothfires, horse like that, sort of tossing up at the moment. We'll just have a look at him for the rest of the week. There is a softer option. I think there was an 1,100 metre handicap, which might be the week before the JJ. So that could be an option as well. And there was a Class 3 1,200 for 2-year-olds at the midweek. So there's a couple of options going forward. Whichever way we see fit or we see best, we'll just see how he goes when we work him up next week and make a call from there.
Okay, perfect, guys. Well, you're colt with plenty of options anyway, and of course, we can look to his 3-year-old year as well, and no doubt some nice sprinting options for him at 3 too. Lovely big cut of a horse. Congratulations to Jason Payton, all the owners there. Tobe, you mentioned before Mayotsi for Yulong. She's having our second start in race 7 over 1,400 metres. The step up and trip, I think yourself and Trent were very keen on for her. She drew wide and she got back, and I must say halfway through the run I thought we're in trouble here. Nothing made ground sort of much all day, and she was stone motherless, and she got home well though.
Yeah, must thank Vince Aspinall too. He flagged this filly for me a while back, saying you probably might see the best of her if she gets to 1,400. So thanks to him for guiding us in that direction as well. And Robbie wasn't too concerned about the barrier. He really wanted to ride it quiet. I sort of wasn't sure, so basically we left it to him. He's a good rider, Robbie. He's ridden all around the world, as you would know. Probably puts his bad one in now and then, but most times he's not far away and got good hands. He just rode it beautifully, and I was a bit surprised he let rip around the outside of him when he did. He said, but when he came, he just said, look, I was going too easy, and he said I got to them and had them put away within 50 or 60 metres. So that's how quick she went, and she performed super. So look, thanks to Yulong, to all that team down there for setting us horse up and give us an opportunity to get a city winner for him, and she'll win again pretty quickly, I'd suggest. Not sure where that is yet, but we'll give her a quiet week, and surely we can fit her into another city race somewhere. So for a stud and for a pedigree, her pedigree wise, very important. She has a city win. She's achieved that now. So we can try and find another one for her.
Yeah, dead right. And I think something that, I suppose, how you built a lot of your earlier career, Tobe, was getting these sort of horses out of these other states, predominantly Victoria and New South Wales, and get them to Queensland, and getting, for fillies and mares, those extra few wins under their belt on their CV, and particular city wins. It's important, and she can now go to Alabama Express or Grunt and be a really nice young, well-performed race mare to get those guys launched for Yulong. So it was just a great result.
That's right. So we've been fortunate enough. Sedno started it off, I suppose. in the, quite a few years ago now by sending us quite a few fillies that weren't quite Sydney level or metropolitan level in either Victoria or New South Wales. And we've been able to, get those horses back on track somewhat and get them into a stakes race, get a bit of black type, which is, as you know, Bruce, and everyone knows anything about breeding, it's highly important that a racetrack filly has some black type there to enhance their value at stud. So, we've been able to do that for a number of years now. So hopefully that can continue. Yulong, I'd imagine, have a stack of those type of horses that fit that criteria. So hopefully they send a few more to us, and we'd love to deal with them and love to be able to, have that association with them, so we can hopefully enhance their stock as well.
Yeah, 100%. I'm with you all the way there. I'm sure that will be the case for sure. Trent, race 8 was the open handicap over 1,300 metres. You took 5 runners to the Gold Coast on Friday, and he was the only horse to get beat. And in fairness to Grey Missile, I thought he ran terrifically well and just beaten probably by a better horse on the day.
Yeah, tried hard as usual. Put a typical honest performance in, Brucey, but look, he was a little while between runs, and I think there might be something in the fact that his first 3 runs for us, actually, the track had been, well, not rain affected, a little bit softer than his last couple, and I think that tells the tale. We took him to the Sunshine Coast first up for us. He won. The track had a good bit of give in it. Next start at Doomben, where he sat wide and got beaten by Manea in the shadows of the post. He was wide that day, and the track was soft again. Gold Market Day, track was soft 6, 7. And his next couple, track had been hard. So, and he sort of had those couple of hard runs previous. So, 2 things: whether or not he's just needs a little bit of give in the ground, I would suggest yes, and maybe just kept a little bit on the fresher side and early in a prep would be ideal for him. Freddie Foxtrot with the claim was always going to be hard to stave off. And actually, when the horse got at him and got past him, our fella came again. So he tried hard, but just no result, unfortunately. Still going really well. What we do with him now, not too sure. Might even give him a proper freshen up and start again, and we'll see an even better racehorse next prep.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so possible break now for Grey Missile, who's just had a monster prep and been super consistent and probably deserved to win a couple of those. But he can keep those up his sleeve for next prep. Race 9, benchmark 72 over 1,200 metres. Good to see Ryan Maloney back over on the Gold Coast side on aboard Potro Duro Tobe, and it was the same sort of conditions as the race before, but he was up a couple of kilos, but he got the job done nicely.
Yeah, he actually drew quite stiff. We were going to run him on Saturday, but then a lot of scratches come out of that race. So then we just got our man in the background, Simon, to do the race for us quickly, and just he stacked up his figures there. So we just decided to walk him across the road. He raced well at home before. This horse done a good job. He's had a throat up, this horse, which we didn't quite know, and you wouldn't think he had done. So he be able to just sit back off him these days and to finish off was good. Ryan rode him beautifully as well from that barrier. Got the job done again. Good effort.
Yeah, and that's a big deal. I was just thinking about that. Like, I remember doing the preview show, and I think we're all sort of thinking, drawn better Doomben, go to Doomben, but you guys just kept your options open, remained very sort of fluid, and then when all those scratchings came, you're adaptable enough to go, okay, yep, let's do the form, let's work it out again, revise, and like you say, made the call to go across the road and got the win. So, well done there, guys. That was awesome. I'm sure the Archer Park team really appreciate that, and it was just nice to get another win in their colours.
Yeah, well done.
Doomben, Saturday, the big day. The start of the Winter Carnival, a couple of really nice fields, group races on the card, and race 7 was the listed Doomben Guineas, a Sky Racing Doomben Guineas over a mile. Trent Vanagirl brought up your first stakes win as a trainer, mate.
Yeah, how good. I was at home on Saturday I'm doing some house renos, so I was putting a heap of crap into a skip bin, and ducking inside to watch all the races. But didn't make it any less special. She's a good filly. Dad bought her at the Classic sale a couple of years ago, basically off the back of her half-sister, Plucky Girl, who was obviously by Pluck. So we knew the family. Foxy bred her as well. Foxy Robinson stayed in Vanna Girl with us, which was great. And we basically put some family and friends into her too. So my cousin, my pop, my uncle, my mum, my sister, we're all in her. So, mate, it was just outstanding. And stakes winner now, 8 starts, 5 wins, 2 seconds and a fourth. What a race record and what a filly. She's so tough. And it's obviously something, that sort of toughness that Logan's Choice, the mother of her, throws into her progeny, because Plucky was an absolute iron mare for us. She was in work for 18 months on and off, just through freshening up at the farm and stuff like that, and raced super and basically raced all the way through her grades in that 18 months that we had her in. This filly, we've given her freshen ups and sort of just gone, a week off here and there, 3 weeks off after her last win at Eagle Farm over the mile, and then come into this prep. So she's basically done all of this off little mini freshen ups, had her first trial back in October, and she's still tough enough to be winning a stakes race in May. So a testament to the filly and all of our staff and everything for just keeping her. That's the guys at the farm too, keeping her active and keeping her happy and well and performing at her peak.
Yeah, well done to the owners there of Vanna Girl. Just a terrific result. And Trent, I think you guys always sort of had the Queensland Oaks in mind for her. Obviously, that race is no longer. So do we see her again this preparation, Vanna Girl?
Yeah, providing she pulls up well. Plan is to have 2 more runs. I think maybe tempo related, she might have just raced a little bit dour as well on Saturday. I thought top of the straight she was going to really smash them, and then she ground to the line. Goes to the Pam O'Neill Classic in a couple of weeks' time, which is a mile against fillies this time. So obviously not taking on the boys. And then to the Doomben Roses, all being well, 1,800 metres race for some pretty nice prize money as her grand final. And then a spell, definitely.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, good stuff, mate. Well done. Race 8, Group 3, BRC Sprint Tobe over 1,200 metres. We saw Tie Zone back in Queensland. Obviously, the race he won last year, albeit this was a shorter distance than the same race last year. Listen, he got back, but, in his finishing position probably wasn't that, outstanding. But I think both of you came out the run thinking he ran very well.
Yeah, I thought, I think he ran 8th of 11 or something like that, but irrelevant where he finished. He got beat 1.45, I think it was, lengths. He was dead last about the 500, and they sprinted off and got him off the bridle, and Robbie really had to, scrub him along to pick up, which he did. And that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see him finishing off on Saturday, so we knew he was in good order. We knew at home he was working well and all the rest of it. But heading towards the Stradbroke, you want him really firing, and he showed me he's on track for another crack at the Stradbroke, which he ran second in last year. Unfortunately, he's probably not going to get another run at that 1350 or wherever prior to. He's probably going to have to go to the Victory Stakes and then into the Stradbroke. So that's fine. He knows as long as we've got in Cherry Ripe Stradbroke Day.
Got it. So 1,200 metres next start as well in the Victory Stakes into the Stradbroke, where we see him dropping weight and should run very well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Awesome. Love it. All right. Lucky last race at Doomben was the benchmark 80 over a mile. Trent, Ocean Addict, a staying mare going through her distances as she gets to where she's sort of crying out for, I believe, sort of 2,000 metres and beyond. She was over a mile. She had a $20 chance, and she ran home very well from back in the field.
Yeah, I certainly wasn't worried by the finishing position. I thought she raced really good. Probably the last 100 metres, she just down on the inside there started to sort of just whack away, and condition might have told, but that should improve her a stack and just work her towards her distance range now. I thought it was pass mark for sure, and probably one to follow in the coming weeks, as we'll step her up pretty quickly to whether that be 18 or 2,000. that's when she starts to sort of be really competitive and come into her own. Obviously, good prize money to be won over those type of journeys. Sort of the same horses tend to race here every week at that journey, and you can win a couple on the way. You basically could pretty much win 100,000 or so pretty quickly. So that's what we're hopeful to do with her. And I think next start and beyond, she's a get on. She's a follow.
There you go. There you go. We're following Ocean Addington to the next. Darren Halpin and the team. Good on you guys. And yeah, I think you did right there, mate. The other opportunity in Queensland, I think since I've been here identifying, you know, where there's a little bit of money and some sweet spots is definitely the staying ranks. You know, you get a nice stayer up here, you can go through your grades and when be racing, you know, Metro Saturday for nice prize money and like you say, take on the sort of, they'll each take their turn, don't they? You know, against the same opposition. So
yeah, for sure.
I like it. All right, Sunday was Toowoomba. Toby, the curse of Toowoomba got us again. Nymeria started sort of in the market, but didn't finish that way.
No, went awfully actually, which is fairly commonplace for us going up there. I think maybe Matt McGilvray probably should have just waited and followed, waited for them all to get going instead of getting out and around them, because she just got pushed wider on the track and then she just didn't finish at all. So probably I'd suggest we forget that, go back to Ipswich or somewhere where she's performed well, and she'll run better at that track that she's used to. So forget she went around yesterday.
All right, expect her to bounce back quick. All right, team. Well, hey, congratulations to you both. Thanks so much for your time, and congratulations. 110 winners for the season so far, and looking forward to the next one that's going to make it 1-1-1, the new record for Edmonds Racing. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Thanks very much, guys, for tuning in and for touching base with us, and we'll catch up later on.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thanks, Brucey.
There you guys. Bye-bye.